I haven't really asked you, but I've hinted at it for a long, long time. But it was not until this year I was like, you should watch Star Trek, and I was trying to find a way to
make you do
it. Yeah, and I was like, well, we have a whole podcast dedicated to TV shows.
Yeah,
we should do, or I should make you watch Star Trek.
And you did.
I did. Now, once again, because it's that even more than something like Avatar, it's just every episode is its own story.
Yeah.
There is no red thread going through the show at all. There are recurring characters, like the Klingons are introduced and then they become like...
Yes.
They become main villains later, really. Romulans, Klingons, whatever.
Yeah.
And like characters like Harry Mudd keep appearing, and he's in like three episodes or stuff like that. But there's not it's not like it's not a beginning, middle, and an end to the show. It's just each episode is a new adventure.
Yeah, and what is it? Each season has a new crew.
No,
not each season,
they add characters.
Right.
Like Scotty, you watched 3 episodes. You watched The Conscience of the King, Space Seed, and The Devil in the Dark? Whatever it's called. Yeah.
I think it was those.
And Scotty, which is like one of the main characters in the movies, he's not really prominently featured until Space Seed. And even after that, he just shows up here and there. He becomes like a mainstay in the 2nd season.
Right.
The same thing with Chekhov. He's not even in season 1, but he is introduced in season 2 as, having been like on the lower decks, and now he's promoted.
Okay, that's why we haven't seen him before.
Exactly. But yeah, Kirk, Spock, Uhura, Bones, those have been in the show from the beginning.
Yeah.
So that's really all the background you need. They're out in space. They're sent out by Starfleet, the Federation, to seek out new life and spread their ideas throughout space, not through conquest, but through knowledge, so to speak.
Yeah, and I mean, basically every episode starts off with them like, responding to a call or something.
Yeah, or we're on a mission to this planet or this colony.
Yeah.
Or we have discovered a signal.
Reason.
Yeah. So should we do it?
It's just a random reason to be at that spot, and then all of a sudden things happen.
Yeah. And if you watched our Megalopolis episode on the spoiler cast, we gave a little bit of a background on the show there. But all you really need to know is that in the 23rd century,
Captain James T. Kirk and the crew of the USS Enterprise explore the galaxy and defend the United Federation of Planets.
Defend, yeah. It's not much defending, really.
No.
It's not really an action-heavy show, which I like. It's a lot more dialogue.
Yeah.
I mean there are definitely
action scenes.
Oh, yeah. And season 2 and 3 definitely bank more on action and adventure.
But they're not like there's not like these like 20-minute long action fight scenes.
No.
They're more calm action.
Yeah.
That usually end up with a gun pointed at someone and someone talking.
Yeah. But that's the backstory. Humans, after the Third World War, realized that we gotta get our shit together. So they did. They basically created a utopian society where money is not the thing anymore. There's no wars. We ended everything like racism and crime and everything. And like we made it. So now we gotta help the rest of the galaxy to prosper the way we did.
Yeah.
And that's why they lead the Starfleet, the Federation created the Starfleet to send ships out to, spread their ideals throughout space. Yeah. In a peaceful way.
Which, you never get to see them be on Earth, do you?
No. There's like a couple of episodes where they travel back in time to 1960s Earth, because they don't want to make futuristic sets for Earth.
No.
So it's easier just, we travel back in time.
Yeah.
Randomly. Oh, we can travel in time now. Okay. Even though that's not really a thing, but sometimes they can.
Why wouldn't that, because that would solve a lot of other problems then, I guess.
Yeah.
You just travel back in time.
Yeah.
I mean, it would solve everything with Khan, basically, if I understood that episode correctly.
Yeah.
You just travel back to before he left and go, hey, hold up.
But that's dangerous, though, which is something they bring up more in later shows, especially Next Generation, that if you start messing with the past, you won't end up in the future you remember. It's the
I
whole.
know,
It's
that's
what is
one
it,
of
the
the rules
grandfather
with time
paradox?
traveling.
Yeah. The fact that Khan trying to conquered a lot big parts of Earth is what led to the Great Peace after that was over.
Yeah,
after he
that's
was
true.
stopped, stuff like that. But we should talk about the episodes specifically. I think
That I watched.
or separately.
Yes.
Yeah. So the first one you watched, we're going in chronological release order, was The Conscience of the King.
Yes.
Yeah. Where Kirk is called to Tarsis 4? No. No, Tarsis 4 is the planet where he came from. He's called to a planet where an old acquaintance of his thinks he has found Kodos, the Executioner, he was the leader of a colony 20 years ago on a planet called Tarsis 4, where Kirk and his friend, they witnessed him killing off half of the population of that colony in order for the other half to survive, because their food supply was ravaged by a fungal infection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they assumed Kodos died as well.
Yes. The Federation showed up, or Starfleet showed up, stopped him from doing what he was doing, killing off 4,000 people. It was 8,000 people. And yeah, they found his burned remains, but no one actually knew. And now this friend of Kirk thinks he has found Kodos, hiding under the name Caridian something?
Caridian. Being a Shakespeare actor.
Yeah, he's part of a traveling band of actors performing Shakespeare across the galaxy, so to speak.
Yeah. Which is a bit of a weird episode to start on, because it starts off at a party, basically.
Yeah, no, it starts with the man being stabbed to death. And you're like, what the fuck?
Oh, yeah, but...
And then you're like, oh, it's a play. Oh, okay.
It's a Shakespeare play.
Then
there's a party, and Kirk walks around being all flirty.
Yeah, well, I think it actually... That's Kirk in a nutshell.
Sure.
He is very by the book, but if there's a lady involved, he's like, hey. He's very smooth. Very smooth. But he then has to... His friend is mysteriously found dead after he has... Not publicly, but he's accused this Caridian guy of being Kodos. So now Kirk's like, maybe there was something to this. And he starts investigating. While also falling in love with Caridian's daughter.
Yeah.
Lenore Caridian. So, what did you think of that one? Your first ever full watch of a Star Trek episode.
It was fine. It was a weird episode in my opinion, because it didn't feel like Star Trek. Because what do you mean theater people and like just actors? That's weird. That's not Star Trek. I expected what were they called?
More science fiction. Spock.
Yeah, more sci-fi. No, not Spock. The other ones with the wrinkled foreheads. Yeah,
that's Klingons. They weren't really a thing in this show. They showed up a couple of times,
later, right?
And they didn't even look like that in this show.
Oh,
they were just like actors in brown face with Fu Manchu mustaches. That was it.
Oh God.
Not blackface, brown face.
No, brown
That's
is still
less
terrible.
Racist.
What? No, it's not.
I don't know.
No. Star Trek felt like all of the episodes really felt like just another show that I could at least have on in the background kind of thing. I didn't feel like I had to super focus on it, even though I probably should to like get all the details.
Yeah.
But since they talk a lot, so they explain a lot as well.
Yes.
So it's fine if you kind of miss details happening around you.
Sure.
And also, I mean, the sets aren't super exciting. Nothing happens really.
No. This was
on the surface there.
Not super cheap, but they got the same budget as like any other show, but they had to create like new planets and spaceships and blasters and stuff for the same budget as like, I don't know, All in the Family or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Which is just regular people in a regular house.
Exactly. So much easier to fix.
And by today's standards, yes, it looks very cheap.
Yes.
I think
I knew that.
Yeah.
Obviously. Like, I've seen bits and pieces of it before, so I knew it would look like this, but it's still going like, shit. This would be cool if it was made now. Yeah. No, but then what is interesting, especially in an episode like this, is the
in this one specifically, like the morality of what Kodos did on Tarsus 4 and how because it turns out, spoilers, Karidian is Kodos.
Yeah. It takes a while, but they figure it out.
Yeah. And they confront him about what he did.
Yeah.
And he sees it as, well, I killed 4,000 people in order to save 4,000 people.
Yeah,
if I didn't do anything, everyone would have died.
Kind of like, I think we mentioned it before, like in Marvel with Thanos.
Thanos, yeah.
And I always said
Thanos?
That Thanos isn't really the bad guy when it comes to that part. Because, like, come on.
Yeah.
They didn't suffer, they just disappeared.
Yeah. He turns into a bad guy in Endgame, but in Infinity War, yeah, like
the idea is fine. Like it's a
he's doing
noble idea. He's doing it in a pretty good way as well. But he should have added like that everyone who stays just don't remember the people that disappeared, because that would have been nicer.
I think it is. I don't think there's a right or a wrong there. That's the thing.
No.
Like killing half of a population is a horrendous, like, it's genocide. It's bad.
Yes.
But it's you can see it, and definitely Kodos and Thanos. Kodos sees it as a necessary evil.
Yeah.
And I like that. I can understand why he did it.
Yes.
And I think even Kirk, to some extent, like, understands why he did it. He
can't
justify it, really. Yeah. You should have tried everything else before just starting picking random people, like, you die, you live, you die, you live. Even like, well, I picked completely random, like, to not judge anyone. But it's just, you're still killing 4,000 people.
Yeah, and some of them are definitely innocent, while others who survived were probably more justified to kill off.
Sure.
If you want to consider that.
Yeah.
And just to mention Thanos again, then, he, with the power of the glove, could have, just doubled the resources instead.
Yes. Which is an argument has been made, and I'm sure there are thousands of comic book nerds like, well, actually, because of this and this, you can't do that.
Yeah, I don't count the comic books because it's not. I just count the movies. That's the only way I can keep track of anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Conscience of the King is an interesting episode. I'll give it that.
Yeah.
But it's not thrilling, really, which is what I expected a little bit.
No. But you get more of that in Space Seed, which is the next episode.
Yes.
Yeah. Where they discover an old derelict human spaceship from the 1990s. Whoa! The far-off, distant time of 1990s. Which is like when the Third World War, the Eugenics War took place. And on this ship, there is a group of genetically engineered humans. Eugenics, They're
like cryo-frozen, basically.
Yeah.
And luckily, Kirk and his team show up just before the batteries run out.
Yeah. And luckily
so they managed to save, like... Is it just the one?
There's only the one that they revive.
Yeah, but do they save the rest by, like, putting in new batteries? I don't remember.
I don't remember. I didn't rewatch these. I rewatched Conscience of the King, and today I started watching Spacey. Like, maybe I should rewatch them. I haven't seen them in a while, but I didn't finish it because I had to record.
That's not the exciting part, though. The exciting part is that they reawaken Khan, which is a name that everyone knows, even if you haven't seen.
Yeah, everyone knows from The Wrath of Khan, the second Star Trek movie. But I would say he's an interesting character. Much like in Conscience of the King, he is kind of he has a different view on morality, and like his politics, so to speak, are different. and maybe you don't agree, but you can understand what he's talking about to some extent.
Yes.
And even when he starts pointing out, like, oh, you 23rd century pussy men, like, in my time, we would have, like, killed you in your infancy. You suck.
Yeah.
And you think, like, oh, there's such a enlightened society. And it's funny that, well, he's genetically engineered, so he is stronger, but it's just like,
yes.
Maybe peace and prosperity has weakened people as well, because he's just easily defeating them when they start fighting. He's like, fuck you, fuck you.
I mean, if you don't have anything to fight, then yeah, the evolution will make it so that the humanity is physically weaker because you don't have the reason to be physically strong in the same way.
It's like Bane says, victory has defeated you, Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the same, and it's kind of the same thing here. So they have to figure out another, because he's just like, well, he's designed to conquer. That's the whole thing. Like that's why they threw him out into space, because he was too dangerous. They made
him too good.
Yeah, him and his 80 Napoleons, as they call him. They were too good. So it's like, bye bye, we're gonna freeze you and throw you out into space. When the eugenics war ended. So now he wakes up and he says, well, I'm just going to continue then. You woke me up, that's your problem. And I like, once again, the most exciting part, at least I think, is the conversations between Kirk, or the crew, and Khan, and how they view things so differently.
Yeah.
Which, like, good sci-fi, you can really juxtapose that to, or impose that onto just conversations about well we need war, or other people saying we need peace, that kind of thing, because that's really what it's about. Like, some people say the only way to achieve success or progress is through conquest, while some people think it's through peace and understanding and other scientific progress, stuff like that. It's actually sitting down and talking, not just fighting.
Yes.
I
feel the conversation with Khan is a little bit one-sided because he does not want to listen to them at all. He just goes, you know what? I'm going to lock you all in a room and kill you all one by one.
Yes.
Unless you do what I say and give me your women, because I need someone to procreate with.
Yes. And that's why they ultimately have to sort of physically defeat him, even though they don't kill him. Because, and then you can start discussing the necessity of violence. Mm-hmm. That it's sometimes it is the only way, but we should always strive for something else.
Yeah.
But it's once again,
a genetically enhanced human decides to just not believe your arguments at all and just goes, no, I'm stronger, I'm better, bye. Then what are you gonna do?
Or if you have a dictator, like when the United Nations says, you gotta stop killing your people, you stop starving them, nope, no, I refused. And at some point, like, well, we're gonna nuke you then.
Yeah, like how else are we supposed to?
How else are we can't deal with you. At some point, it becomes necessary to use violence. So that's.
But it should be the last outcome.
Of course. And it shouldn't be something you decide so lightly.
No.
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 Which is the difference between Kirk and Khan.
Yes.
And why Kirk ultimately wins. Reason wins in the end. Until he wakes up 20 years later again. Well, they win again then, but and actually kill him. Spoilers for that movie.
Oh.
Yeah.
Honestly, I just have someone screaming out Khan in my head.
Yeah.
Every time I hear the name Khan. That's all I have. And that's from the movie, I guess.
That's from the movie, yeah.
Yeah. But the worst thing is that I see it in the way that is it
Seinfeld?
No.
Okay, because they do a Khan joke.
Pet Cemetery, when the kid gets hit by the truck and the dad kneels in the road. I see it that way, but Khan instead.
Well, that is because in the movie, it's a close up of Kirk and he has his fist up and goes Khan. Just a short Khan that echoes in the zoom out and you see the planet. Okay, but when they reference it in Seinfeld, it is a top down shot of George going Khan. on!
Okay.
So you are thinking of Seinfeld.
Okay, yeah. It's the combination of it all.
Oh, yes. And then, of course, there's the terrible J.J. Abrams version of it in Into Darkness.
I don't think I
when
watched
it's Spock that screams. Yeah, we saw it in theaters, Rebecca.
We did?
Into Darkness, yeah, the second of the newer Star Trek movies.
Did it?
We saw it the same day. We did a double feature that day.
Oh,
we saw it the same day as Evil Dead, the remake of Evil Dead.
Which is why I probably blocked that one out, because I liked Evil Dead.
Yeah, because that movie's
and
terrible.
I didn't like that one.
But then it's Spock screaming, "Con!"
Yeah.
It's just so bad. Anyway. Well, so, did you like this episode? Did you like Space Scene?
It was okay. I think I liked it the least, but it's only because I really disliked Khan.
Oh, okay.
He was just misogynistic and terrible.
Yeah, yeah.
I just couldn't stand him.
The way he comes on to MacGyver's the historian.
Yeah.
Immediately.
At first, obviously, like smitten a little bit by him, because she is very into history and it's like, oh my god, I can learn so much from him. But then he just turns out to be, I will have my babies with you. And she's like, no, wait. Hold on. That's not what I meant.
You will breed my warriors for me. Wait. Yeah. But then the third episode you watched, which is probably, I picked these based on like what people say are the best episodes.
Yeah, they're marked top rated on IMDb.
Yeah, and then I kind of singled out my favorites out of those lists. And the third episode you saw, The Devil in the Dark, is probably my favorite episode, maybe of the whole show.
It was definitely my favorite out of these.
Okay, yeah. First and foremost, because it's probably the most like science fiction adventure-y episode.
Yes.
It's a lot of there's different planets, there's spaceships, there's space monsters. So
exactly.
It's more horror. There's more more action, I suppose.
There is more action, but the action is still very slow.
Yeah. Well, that's the entire
calm.
show. That's the entire show. But it also has out of these moral quandaries, these moral philosophies that they kind of deal with in every episode. I think this one is the most interesting. Because it deals with the fear of the unknown, which we've talked a lot about. I love that, the concept of fear of the unknown. Yeah, because
wonderful.
Yeah, because what's the plot? I don't have it up.
The Enterprise is sent to a mining colony that is being terrorized by a mysterious monster, only to find that the situation is not that simple.
Exactly. So they have these terrifying monsters creeping around the mines, killing the workers, and like we have to eradicate them.
Isn't even, like, if I remember correctly now, on, like, the security footage, no one, I don't know if it's security footage or just no one has seen the monster. They just know that something is making these workers, these miners, disappear into thin air, basically.
Yeah. And then when they finally discover it, they realize that it's just an animal, an undiscovered animal that is not, like, hunting down the miners. It's protecting, like, its children. It's a tribe, so to speak. Eggs, yeah.
And, like, even for a specific reason, because they explain in the end of it that this creature it has a cycle of, I don't remember, like 1,000 years or something.
Oh.
Where every 1,000 years then, every single individual except for one dies.
Yeah.
And that one is responsible to re-establish this.
Yeah. I forgot
species.
About that part. This is the one episode I didn't rewatch at all for this.
Yeah. And these miners are fucking with that cycle.
Yeah, like
because they found these random, I think it's silicone substances.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, they're useless, but they're kind of cute. I don't know. We'll keep one around. Turns out that's the eggs. And they've destroyed hundreds of eggs.
Yeah. Which will,
obviously, the creature is like, what the fuck are you doing,
they're
guys?
They're going to eradicate the entire race of this animal.
Because of their ignorance.
Yes. And fear, you know.
Of course. But, like, they didn't know about this creature. They didn't even know it existed.
Yeah. But then when
Until Spock figured it out by talking to it through emotions.
Yes, because they have they can do mind melding.
Yeah.
Sort of like the Asari do in Mass Effect.
In Mass Effect.
Yeah. Embrace eternity. Yeah. I love that it, they try desperately to explain this to the miners, and eventually like, okay, yeah, we understand, like, and also the fact that they then come to a conclusion that, yeah, okay, we'll stop mining. It's not like, well, we have to keep mining. Money needs to be made. The factory needs okay, we'll leave them alone then. It's so...
We'll leave the lower regions alone. We'll go over there and mine instead. Keep from going that far down, because the monster or the creature doesn't live that far, that close to the surface. It's very, very deep, and it only travels to the surface, because of the eggs being removed, basically.
Yeah. So
otherwise, he would have stayed hidden.
Yeah. Once again, adding to this wonderful future where humanity kind of got their wits about them. It's like, we don't have to shovel every inch of rainforest. We'll just use whatever we need and leave the rest alone. Like, now, of course, maybe it's not that simple in reality, but the concept is really that simple.
Yes.
To just have a bit of compassion, even for things you don't really understand. Which also gives us one of the greatest lines in TV history, when I think it's Kirk asks Bones to, like, do they have to, the monster is like wounded, like, you're a doctor, heal it, McCoy. And he's like, what is this? He's I'm a doctor, not a bricklayer, Kirk, or James, whatever he says. Which he says a lot of. I'm a doctor, not a but this, I'm a doctor, not a bricklayer, because it's a stone monster.
He does heal it, though.
Yeah, he does.
Figures out that some sort of silicone mask that they had too much of because of some other mission where they needed it for repairs.
Yeah.
Ended up being the perfect substance to repair this monster.
Yeah.
Creature. I shouldn't say monster, because it's not a monster.
It's an animal.
Creature.
Yeah.
Very strange looking glob, but still.
Yeah.
That somehow makes perfectly circular and smooth tunnels.
Yes. Because they...
And can, like, melt the ground somehow with, like, a laser or something. I don't remember exactly.
Yeah, there's some sort of... No, but that's, that's beside the point.
That's sci-fi.
Yeah, that's sci-fi, exactly. We don't understand this animal.
No, exactly.
Yeah, I think that
I agree. This is the best episode of the 3 I watched. And I almost, if I hadn't been interrupted with, I don't remember what it was, but something, life, I guess, I would have watched a couple more.
Yeah.
Ooh. Just didn't really have time for it. Because I felt like it was I've been missing having a show that you can have on in the background.
Yeah.
Which just keeps going, and it's on an easy streaming platform.
Yeah, and it's not like, if you miss a little detail here, it's not like, I don't understand this in 3 episodes.
No,
what's happening here? No, because it's a new adventure. Yeah, exactly.
Also, it's in a language I completely understand, so I can watch it without having to watch it.
Yeah, you need to stop watching all your K-dramas.
But it's fun.
You're watching Days of Our Lives in Korean, Rebecca. It's not...
No.
Yes, you are.
They're more interesting stories.
Oh, sure.
And they're all very... That's the beauty with K-dramas. They're all... Most of them, at least, are like miniseries. So they're like 8 to 12 episodes.
Oh, shit, I forgot to change the background. Oh, whatever.
Oh well. Whatever. So if we're doing one of these again, I am making you watch a K-drama of some sort. I'm not going to make you watch the entire thing, but I'm going to make you watch like a few episodes.
Yeah.
Because they're so cute. And if I understood Korean better, I would have them on in the background just because.
Yeah.
They're not that deep. You don't need to understand every single detail.
No, it's
you don't
a
have
soap
to see
opera.
everything.
Yeah, it's just drama.
Yeah, and it's just romance, basically.
Yeah.
Most of them.
Yeah.
Well, there's some fantasy stuff as well, but they're usually more complex.
I think we should start wrapping it up here.
Yes.
So yeah, next episode. Now we don't have a show to follow, so we won't do another episode next week probably. Or did you have anything?
I thought I saw something that came out on... Where was that? I thought I saw something that came up, but maybe I'm misremembering now. Also, I'm kind of wanting to watch that new Roman show, whatever that is called. I don't know where it's streaming, though.
For Those About to Die.
Yeah, I think that's the one.
Well, here in Sweden, it's on TV4 Play.
Ah, right.
Yeah, I kind of want to check that out, Mainly because you have a bunch of cool actors, and also that
Yeah.
it sometimes looks like the most expensive show ever, and then there are some shots that looks incredibly cheap. I just want to know what it actually is.
Like, what is it?
Yeah, what is this? Maybe that. I don't know if I'm going to make an episode about that, though. I haven't heard anyone talk
maybe
about
not.
that show.
I can't remember if it was that one or if I was thinking of something else. I can't
maybe.
find
I don't know
it.
if there's something else. I don't know. That's the one I'm thinking of, though, because I saw some ads for it before. But I was going to say, so yeah, we won't, and we're not going to make it, we're not going to go through the entire shows of Star Trek or Avatar, but I'll say this, I will probably watch more Avatar. Maybe I won't finish it, but I'll watch more Avatar. And you kind of already answered, but do you want to continue watching Star Trek?
I might. But should I start from the top then? Since I didn't?
Yes.
Right?
You could maybe skip the pilot, the cage, because that is you don't even that episode doesn't even have Kirk. They have Captain Pike in that episode, and it is even more just people sitting around talking. I mean, it literally takes place in a cage the entire episode.
Yeah.
Not the entire episode, but a lot of it. And they do kind of, because that was never officially aired on TV and in the 60s.
It's one of those.
Yeah. So they do, however, deal with that story and the fallout from that story, sort of, in a two-parter later in season 1 called The Menagerie, I think. Okay. Or The Corbinite Maneuver? No, The Menagerie, part 1 and 2. So you can skip that and then just get the Cliff's Notes in that episode.
Yeah.
Because that was the first time people saw that talked about Commander Pike and everything, so you can just watch that instead. So you would start with Where No Man Has Gone Before, I think the first episode is called?
Yeah. I had it up, now I lost it.
No, The Man Trap, sorry.
No, Man Trap, yeah.
Right, Dr. McCoy discovered...
No Man Has Gone Before is number 4 then, I guess. 3.
Yes, there's Charlie X and then Where No Man Has Gone Before, right. Yes, you should...
Charlie X. Do you think Charlie XYX, where her name is, got her name from there? The music artist.
I don't know. I've never heard that person, so... I know the name, but I don't know. Do they have psychic abilities? Are they like a god creature?
No, she's a music producer and artist.
Okay, I don't know.
Did you miss out on Brat Summer? Do you don't know what that is?
No, I never understood what Brat Summer was.
Oh, okay.
I was more of a white boy summer kind of guy.
All right.
No, but definitely start with Man Trap. It's a good episode. Charlie X is fun as well. Because, Where No Man Has Gone Before is a great episode as well. Naked Time is kind of silly. Enemy Within is fun. Because, Captain Kirk is kind of split into two. It's like there's a transporter malfunction, and there's two Kirks. One is very impulsive and aggressive, while the other one is very meek and terrible.
So they're
two parts of
dividing
a person.
his two personalities, basically.
That's a fun episode. Then, however, you have the first episode with Harry Mudd, episode 6, Mudd's Women. I can't stand that episode. I just think the character is more fun in later episodes, but I hate Mudd's Women.
Okay.
And then the episode after that isn't great either. What Our Little Girl's Made Of, it's better. But both of those are like cyborg episodes. Oh, they've created androids. It's like, whatever. But then Miri, I think Miri is fine. I know a lot of people don't like Miri.
You know what? We don't have to go through this.
I do, because it's fun. Then you have Dagger of the Mind, which is a great episode. It's episode 9. And then the Corbinite Maneuver. Anyway.